So welcome back. Before we start, I wanted to share with you, next week there is mock. Next weekend there is mock. It is important to attempt the mock exams because it prepares you for the final exams. So next week there is mock, and this has been shared in your groups. This is just a reminder. This is just a reminder of the mock exams. So if you are doing management accounting, you can see it's Saturday morning. If you are doing taxation, where is tax? If you are doing F1.1, you can see where it is. It is already in the group, so look through it. Now, do you see in the mock, there is no class on Friday. Mock starts on Saturday. So in case we don't manage to finish syllabus on Thursday next week, we may extend on Friday just to try to finish, but prepare also for the mock exams. I hope we are together. I'll try we finish on Thursday. If we don't finish on Thursday, we can extend and try to finish on Friday. Please always learn to mute, please. Okay, so that is a mock. So let's go back. The timetable is already in the group. So that is not what we were. I was just to remind you. Now we want to go a step further from what we had looked at. We have now looked at how to prepare process accounts, basic process accounts with only closing work in progress. And we have also looked at process accounts with both opening work in progress and closing work in progress. So let's try to finalize by looking at two items now. Only joint products and byproducts, and we end. Maybe in the next 1 hour, we should have finished if our speed is okay. So what are joint products? We had already explained it yesterday. Joint products are two or more products. So we had explained it. They are two or more products which are output from the same process, but you cannot separate them from each other. You cannot separate them from each other up to what we call their point of separation. Up to their point of, so these are two or more products. The key point is two or more products which are output from the same process. So far, our output has only been one. You know that output has been one. What about if output is more than one product? Maybe we have output A, output B, output C. So far, we have been assuming that output is only one product. What do we do in cases where the output is more than one product? That is what we want to learn. Now, the major problem in this case is there is one joint cost, but you share these costs in three products. How do we share the joint costs into the number of products that we have? If you have 4 products, into 4 products. Joint cost is only one, but we want to share it in the number of products that are there. So that is the last statement that is here. The major problem in joint costs is how to share out, how to apportion what? Joint costs. The major problem is how to apportion joint costs. How do you share the joint costs? That is a major problem in accounting for products, joint products. Now, there are 3 methods that the examiner normally tests, but the examiner is common with the first 2 methods. The first 2 methods are the most common. The third one rarely is it there, but I'm just covering because it's in the syllabus. So the first method to separate joint costs is called physical units method. So in this case, we apportion joint costs using the ratio of production units. Maybe instead of using those many words, ratio, we can say ratio of production units is used to apportion. I think this is better instead of having many words. To apportion joint what? Costs. The key word is ratio of production units. So you must look for production units in equation. So once you get production units, you get the ratio of production units. That is what is used to apportion joint costs. That is what is used to apportion joint costs. That is which method? Physical units method. Now, here in the second method, ratio of production units. Take note of this. It is a bit confusing. Production units times selling price per unit. I have not said sales units. I've said production units. So that is what this method calls sales value. Is used to apportion joint costs. So take note of that. I've not said sales units. I've said production units times selling price. Many people confuse this. Remember, we are in a production process. We are not in a selling process. So when the examiner tells you to use sales value method, you take production units times selling price per unit. Production units times selling price per unit. So the third method, ratio of sales value or production units, let me use this, production units times selling price per unit minus post, how do you write post? Post separation costs is used to apportion the what? Joint cost. Take your time in this. The calculation is not complicated. It's just use this. So you take, the keyword is ratio of production units times selling price per unit minus post separation costs is used to apportion joint costs. Is used to apportion joint costs. So take note, if the examiner tells you to use physical units method, you use the ratio of production units. If he tells you to use sales value method, you use production units times selling price per unit. Production unit, I'm repeating, it is not selling sales units, it is production units, because we are in a production process. And then net realizable value method, net is production units times selling price minus post separation costs. So why don't we look at examples? Maybe 2 quick examples or 3 quick examples, and then we continue. So let me hope I'll respect what I said, 1 hour, but I'm seeing time is really running fast. So let's read this question and read it carefully. So XYZ Limited, and even exams questions are always as short as that. After this, I may not get time to cover. After this, just write this question somewhere so that you can look at it. June 2018, question 7B. June 2018, write it somewhere. June 2018, question 7B. You will attempt it after this class. June as an assignment. June 2018, question 7B. June 2018, question 7B. It is on joint costs. You will see it is exactly the same. That is why I'm not even covering it. It is even easier than this. So XYZ are joint products incurring joint costs of 150,000. Additional information has been provided. Product, production units, sales units, and selling price per unit and post separation costs. Required, calculate the cost of each product using physical units method, and then calculate the closing. So As in our solution, we will start with number 1. So let me call it A, or it doesn't matter. Number 1, physical. How do you write physical? Physical units what? Method. So we said in physical units method, ratio, what did we say? Ratio of production units is used to apportion the what? Joint costs. Joint costs. Please, let's be together here. It's very easy and very compared to what we did in the morning. So ratio of these. So let's look at what are our production units. So in this case, I'll be looking at what are the production units. So production units for product X, product Y, and product Z. So our production units, we can see production units is 4,000. I'm just copying pasting. You can see there. Sorry. So this one is 5,000 and this one is 3,000. So what is the total to get the ratio? The total is 4,000 plus 5,000 plus what? 3,000. So what is the total? The total is 12,000. So that is production units. So remember, the cost is so here I'll get the cost of output. Cost of what? Output. I'll really not call it cost of output. I'll call it value of output. And then lastly, I'll also look at value. I hope it will fit. Value, so that we kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Value of closing stock. Value of closing stock. So value of closing stock. You know that is closing stock, of course. Value of closing stock. Okay, so we have that. So what will be the value of output? Value of output will be equals to, look at what I'm doing, 4,000 times the joint cost is 150,000. You always need to identify what is your, okay, divided by 12,000. 12,000 is the total to get the ratio. This one will be equals to 5,000 times 150,000. I hope it is straightforward. Divided by 12,000. The next one is 3,000 times 150,000 is the joint costs, divided by what? 12,000. Not 120. I meant 12, sorry. 12,000, not 120. So that is what we have. And it is that easy. I hope there is nobody who doubts that it is not easy compared to what we were covering. So these are free marks in exams. So if you want to get the value, that is what you do. So you divide by I'm trying to see how best to divide. So what do you get? So this will give you 4,000 over 12,000 times 150,000. So you get 50,000 as your answer. This one will give you 5,000 over 12,000 times 150,000. You get 62,500. And this one will give you 3,000 over 12,000 times 150,000. So what do you get? 37. So those is the value of output. Now, what is value of closing stock? Remember, closing stock is production minus what was sold. So look at this production. What did we produce? We produced 4,000, we sold 3,500. So is 4,000 minus, so I can use brackets, 4,000 minus 3,500 times 12,000. I hope everyone sees 12,000. Everything divided by 4,000. 4,000 is this 4,000 there. This one will be equals to 5,000 minus 4,200 no, this is not 12,000. Sorry. I've messed you up. 62,500. I wanted 62,500 divided by 5,000. I'm saying the first one is not 12,000 there. It is 50,000. I meant 50,000, not 12,000. 50,000. I meant 50,000. Sorry for that. So the last one is, I've also put this in the wrong place. No, it is in the right place. The last one is 3,000 minus 2,700, close the bracket, times 62. Sorry, 37. 37 is the value of output. Everything divided by 3,000. I think this is fairly straightforward and everybody is seeing it. So whatever value you get. So what is our answer? The answer is 4,000 minus 3,500 divided by 4,000 times, times 50,000. So we get that. The next one is, I'm just repeating the same process. 5,000 minus 4,200 divided by 5,000 times 62,500. So it gives you, yes. The last one is 3,000 minus 2,000. You see, when you take what you produced minus what you sold is the closing inventory. Divide by 3,000, everything times 37,500. So what do you get is 3,000. So please take note of that. That is very, very important. That is extremely important. So that is very important. So that is how to get the value of closing stock and opening. That is if you have been asked that value. Now, rarely this is more of financial, calculate the value of closing using the, so we have already, this is using which method? That is using physical units method. I will not cover example 2. So let's cover example 1, but exhaust it. We go into details. That is using physical units method. So we want to go to method 2. Method 2 is using sales value method. Sales value method. Using sales value method, we have said, what do we use in this case? Here we use ratio of production units times selling price per unit is used to apportion the joint costs. So look at what I'm doing in this question. So in order to answer that question, I'll have my product X, product Y, and my product Z. You are now familiar with production units. What are the production units? Production units. Of course, you multiply by selling price per unit to give you sales value, and sales value is what you use to apportion. So production unit still remains 4,000. This one still remains 5,000. And this one still remains 3,000. And then you multiply by selling price. Selling price is 15, not 15, I mean 20, 15, and 30. Those are the selling prices. We can focus on them. Those are the selling prices. So production units times selling price. So here we have equals to this times that. That is the sales value, is equals to this times that, is equals to this times that. It gives you that. So what is the total? The total is 80 plus 75 plus 90. So it gives you 245. So, okay. So we go a step further. Now we get the value of output. So value of output value of, and then here we will get value of closing inventory, or let me call it closing stock. Whichever word is used, you can always use any of the words. So value of output. What is our value of output? So our value of output, you now know the trend. What is the trend? So what is the trend? You can even use abbreviations now here. You will take 80, I'm removing zeros. 80 times 150,000. I'm removing zeros, take note of that. Divide by 245. Divide by 245. So divide by 245, you get me the, I've just removed zeros to save our time. This is 75 times 150,000 divide by 245. And this one is, of course, equal sign must be there. This one is 90 times 150,000 equals to divide by 245. So you divide by 245. So what do we get in that case? Is equals to 80 divided by 245 times 150,000. Here we have 75 divided by 245 times 150,000. Is that 150? Yes. And this one we have 90 divided by 245, close the bracket, times 150,000. So what do we get? We get that value. So the total closing stock as usual. Closing stock is as usual. So don't forget about closing stock. So value of closing stock, the way we did that. So just the same way we did it. So closing stock is equals to, what did we do there? 4,000 minus 3,500 times 4,000. Sorry, 4,000 minus 3,500. This is produced units minus sold units times 48,980. You get divided by 4,000. This one is 5,000 minus 4,200. 5,000 minus 4,200 times 45,918. You get your answer. Divide by 5,000. And lastly, we have this is what is it? 3,000 minus 2,700 minus 2,700 times 55,102 divide by 3,000. You get your answer. So what do we get as our values here? It is 4,000 minus 3,500, close the bracket, divide by 4,000, everything times 48,980. You get your answer there. This one will be equals to 5,000 minus 4,200 divided by 5,000 times 45,918. You get your answer there. And the last one is equals to 3,000 minus 2,700 divided by 3,000, everything times 55,102. You get your answer. That is using which method? That is using sales value method. Sales value method. So that is if you decide to use sales value method. That is using sales value method. So I hope you understand it. Okay. Let me remove this from here. It will cause you a lot of confusion. Let me remove it from there. So that it looks proportional. Okay, so that I can know that that is the, of course, that you can know it is the total. So I don't need to underline that once I've done that. So you just know that is what you are supposed to be doing. So maybe even in the third method, it is just the same concept, that is sales value. So the last method again, I can just copy paste this. I'll copy and paste, not cut. I'll copy and come and paste it here. So, but now we are using which method? We are now using just allow me to frame it up properly. I'm just trying to frame it up. This is the last method so that it is easier. Now we are using net sales value. It is now not sales value. It is net sales value or net realizable value, also called net realizable value. Net realizable. So in this case, ratio of production units times minus, there is minus post separation costs. Post separation costs is used minus. So here, instead of having that, we'll have sales value, value. It's called sales value, sales value. Here you have post separation costs. Post separation costs. And then here we have net sales value. So net sales, so what is our sales value? We already have it from there. You don't need to repeat it. Our sales value is 75. Our sales value is 90. So what is the total? We don't even need that. So post separation cost is in the equation. So what is our post separation costs? We can go for post separation. We were not given. Yes, it is there, 6,000. So post separation is given. Post separation cost is also given. Post separation costs is also given. Post separation cost is also given. Now net sales is not times, is minus. Don't multiply, it is minus. So that is what is causing the problem. Minus. We are saying it is this minus post separation, minus that. That is also not right. That is also not right. So minus it is this minus that. So this one is also 90,000 minus 4,000. So it gives you what? 86. 86. Now, what is this? This is now 74. You can see 74. Over this is now 227. This is now 67. 67 over 227. And this is now 86. 86 over 227. What can we change here? So this is 74 over 227. Over 227, you get your answer 48. This one is 67 over 227. 67 over 227, you get your answer. And this one is 86 divided by 227. 227 is giving you 56. So that gives you the value of output. Of course, this one is now 48,889. 48. This one changes to, the new value is 899. This one, the new value changes to 44,273. 44,273. And this one changes to, 56,828. So you get that. So of course this will be times, so it will be that, it will be times that, and this one will be times that. So we are done with the three methods. I think this method is fairly straightforward. So in your free time, go and attempt that question that I have said. Which question have I said? The question that I have said is June 2018, question 7B. Go and attempt it. June 2018, question 7B. June 2018, question 7B. June 2018, question 7B. I hope this method is, joint products is not a problem. I hope joint products are not a problem. I just hope it's not a problem. So I know we are tired. Let me just explain byproducts and then we stop. Byproducts rarely is a calculation tested, but I can later on do for you a calculation. What is a byproduct? We said a byproduct is a secondary. So what did we say? Let's go back so that we just end the class. I know we are tired. We have covered complex things. So we are now looking at byproducts. So what did we say? Byproducts are supplementary or secondary products whose value is small, compared to that of the main product, whose value is small compared to that of the main. Rarely do we test calculation. You just need to know what a byproduct is. Rarely does the examiner test calculation on this. However, I can do for you some working and then I'll share with you. That basically brings us to the end of process costing. Unless there is a question, process costing is a common question in exams, but the most common question is FIFO and AVCO. Practice, practice, practice FIFO and AVCO. That is the most common in exams. Otherwise, thanks for your attendance. Remember, we are meeting Thursday next week to try to complete the syllabus. If we don't, we will also meet on Friday. And then remember, you have your mock. So over the week, revise for your mock. You know, mock helps you to prepare for the exams, for the final exams. That is why we normally do it in the first week of the week in which you have exams. So that is why we are bringing it in the first week of April, because you are doing your exams in the last week of April. Otherwise, have a good afternoon. See you Thursday next week. So basically, this is our last formal class. Next week is a makeup class on Thursday and maybe Friday. And then after mock, we will start revision. Please read, read, read. Yes, mock is at the university. You must come at the university. That is on Saturday next week. But the Thursday and Friday class are online, but the mock is at the university. I hope I'm clear. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. I'll be sharing this in a short while. Shortly, I'm sharing this. Let me just finish recording the class. Once I've finished recording the class, I will share this so that you start revising. See you people next time.